my family, they all died before partition. I migrated and I ran away from home and came to Pakistan with whatever little money I could get from here and there. In March 52, I joined the Kanpur Flying Club, and there was a gentleman working in the flying club, and he said that I'll get your money out for you. And he said the last train is leaving. He said if you buy my ticket, then you can come and stay with me. I said okay. When we reached Monabau, for the first time in my life, I saw the Pakistan flag. I was sort of overtaken with emotion a little bit. So I broke the line, and I went across the no man's land. I hugged the man there, but that was against the law, I couldn't. So they couldn't catch me when I went, but then they came and they arrested me. They locked me up actually. I think I was there for 4 or 5 days. And in fact, the first night I spent here in, this Rex Cinema here in Sadar. There's a big roundabout. I just lay down there and I was so tired that I passed out. The next day I noticed this bus. It says Karachi Flying Club. And it was going that way. Of course, I didn't catch it that day. The next day I waited for that bus early in the morning. Next day I took the bus and I reached the Karachi Flying Club. And I think I had just enough money to be able to pay 15 rupees an hour and complete the requirement for an A1 license. And then I could just join Orient Airways. There were very few pilots those days. And that was when I realized that in the flying club you had these Air Force pilots flying free. And so I started flying with them. I applied and I got selected. So consequently, unwittingly, I had joined the Air Force. Although I thought that I'm going to complete my flying hours and start flying Orient Airways. You see, first there were 3-4 airlines. There was Park Air, there was Orient Airways, there was Crescent Airways, and actually PIA had bought 3 aeroplanes, and it was with the civil aviation. Now, in 1955, they were all merged together, and it became a corporation, which was Pakistan International Airlines Corporation. When you buy an aeroplane, then the company that sells you the airplane, like the Boeing company or the Hawker Siddeley company or the McDonnell Douglas company, provides you free training. So most of our pilots, they had the experience. And the main thing is that we got going at a younger age compared to the other airlines because we grew up very fast. And immediately after partition, we had to have a first-class airline to connect the two wings. From PIA, my first flight as a captain was from Dhaka, Chittagong, Calcutta. In 1958, when martial law came, Air Commodore Noor Khan joined PIA. Now there was a competition those days that which airline is going to fly jets first, the Boeing 707. And India was naturally, they had placed their order before, they had the money and everything. And he did the smartest thing, he leased one 707 from Pan Am, which was their first 707 to fly. And so PIA became the first airline to fly jets. We flew the Boeing, even before British Airways, even, of course, much before Air India and everybody. And then the fleet grew. The smartest thing that Noor Khan did was that he employed Umar Qureshi as our public relations manager. He was an outstanding public relations man. In fact, he was the one who brought this slogan, great people to fly with. And then those days, since the spirit was there, PIA won so many awards. The best service between Tokyo and Karachi, 3-4 years, they won the best service award. PIA was the first airline in the world to introduce in-flight movies on the Karachi-Moscow run. PIA had so many firsts, and people were proud of being in PIA those days. And the main thing I feel was the uniform that the girls wore. When I joined the airline, they made a hybrid between the East and the West of a uniform. So the girls used to wear shalwar kameez, but then there was this very dandy cap with a little flag sticking out here. And then the shirt was green, shalwar was white. And it was designed, I think, by Pierre Cordon. I remember there was one James Bond movie. They specially asked that when they take their shot at the London airport, they wanted the PIA girls to pass through. In the 65 war, the first thing that the Americans did was to cripple the F-86, the Air Force fighter pilot, by not providing certain parts. But then Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Iran, they helped us out. We used to take off. You couldn't follow any airway. So we took off from Karachi, heading south towards Colombo. But made sure that you were about between 100 and 200 miles away from the Indian coast. You were not only outside the range of their guns, but also because you were so high, their aeroplanes, the Hunters and the MiGs, that they could not attack you. I was once chased by 2 Hunter aircraft, and I managed to evade them by going into a storm over Calcutta. If you were very heavy, if you had too much ammunition and so forth, then you had to land at Colombo because there wasn't enough fuel. In 65, PIA was the transport command. The Air Force didn't have any transport. So we were flying Boeing 707s for the Air Force. Then in the 71 war, again the Air Force doesn't have transport. They had these CV-130s and all. Yeah, it's like a sitting duck. It's a propeller aeroplane. So it was PIA who was flying for them. We carried the entire army from here to Dhaka. And then we brought wounded people and everything back. That is one time. And well, I would say all our aircraft, 10 or 11 of them, they were continuously flying in and out, Karachi to Dhaka, Dhaka to Karachi. Sometimes when we were very heavy, then we had to land at Colombo. So we carried the entire 3 or 4 divisions of army and all the ammunition, everything from here to Dhaka in a very short time. In 1971, when Pakistan broke up, then PIA was in dire straits, as they say. We lost all our traffic to East Pakistan. That was PIA's main earning. And PIA began to fall apart. And it was then that a gentleman by the name of Saigal, he became the chairman of PIA. He was a businessman, he understood money, and he bailed the airline out. So it was during his time that we gave a few of our aircraft to Malta, and we started running the Air Malta. And then he started the Emirates Airline. 2 of our Airbuses were given, 2 of our pilots was sent there, and they started the airline. Then he took up all these charters. We were posted in Jeddah for 2-3 months. We were doing these charters for various countries. Then when Ziaul Haq came, he started interfering. The day Mr. Ziaul Haq banned the bar in PIA, a bar doesn't mean that all the Muslims should start drinking over there. It's nothing like that. You see, when an international first-class passenger flies with you, he wants to have a drink. But if he wants to have it, you have to provide him. And if you don't, then he won't travel PIA. It destroyed the international image of PIA. An airline is secular. Anybody can go. But when you enter PIA aircraft, the very first announcement is a dua in Arabic. What I mean is that when a European first-class passenger enters a PIA aircraft, he is immediately aware that this is an Islamic airline. I remember I was in charge of selecting pilots. The first 2 girls applied, they had licenses. And there was a lot of hue and cries, how can you select girls? I said, well, they've got licenses. They're fit to fly. They said, wo jo dupatta pehenenge ki nahi pehenenge? And I said, listen, then flying, there's no dupatta wapatta and all, you have to fly. And in that, they'll wear whatever everybody else wears. If they have a dupatta flying on, the pressurization, if it goes off and the dupatta will fly off and strangle somebody. I was, from August 1956 to March 1982. I was in PIA. Early days of PIAs were better than the later days of PIAs today. It was beautiful. There was absolutely no sectarianism, provincialism, nothing. There were people from every province, every language. We accepted small salaries and we accepted extra duty hours. And it was a national airline. It was a mini Pakistan.
The first airline was Pak Airways, which was set up by my brother and his partners, and then was the Orient Airways. Then Pak Airways had a very, very big crash in which a lot of people died. And then that finished, and Oriental then merged with PIA, and PIA was born.
पाकिस्तान इंटरनेशनल हमें जब पता चला, वो जो शाह ऑफ ईरान की बीवी फरादीबा, इसकी माँ, शी केम टू पाकिस्तान एंड दैट वाज 20 years of अपवा. इट वाज अ फैशन शो, और जिसमें हमने ये एरोस्टिस इन लोग के जो यूनिफॉर्म थे वो उनको हमने मॉडल्स के तौर पे ये किया था। उस ज़माने में तो वी वर लाइक कि बस नेशनल एयरवेज है, हम नेशनल एयरवेज में ही जाएंगे। फ्लाइट बहुत अच्छी थी, इट वॉज ऑन टाइम, वी वर वेरी हैप्पी विद द एयरलाइंस।
शुरू में पीआई बहुत अच्छा था, नए जहाज थे, बहुत रेयर होस्टेस, बहुत स्मार्ट, यंग और बड़ी प्रिटी सी होती थी। वहाँ मुझे याद है कि पीआई में यहाँ मेरी बहन की शादी थी, जो हम लोग आए थे और मैंने वॉमिट किया, तो वो 4771 का बड़ा ज़बरदस्त कलोन मिलता था, तो उन्होंने पूरी बॉटल मुझे दे दी। सारे मैंने अपने स्प्रे की और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि यू कैन टेक इट। पर्ल्स के छोटे छोटे सेट्स पहली फ्लाइट पे तोहफे में भी दिए लोगों को।
मैं मार्केटिंग में था पीआईए में। दुनिया की 5 एयरलाइंस के अंदर पीआईए का नाम हुआ करता था। लैंडिंग एंड टेक ऑफ की 95% टारगेट हमने अचीव किया था और हर साल 2-2 बोनस मिला करते थे और तनख्वाह मेरी जो 180 रुपये थी। सुकूत ढाका के बाद मुलाजमीन को सब पर्ची दे करके बाहर निकाल दिया गया था, उसमें से मैं भी था। पीआईए में ये तकरीबन बंद होने का करीब थी। उसके बाद पे वो रफ़ीक साइकिल साहब आए, फिर ये पर्ल रूट खुला, बातिक रूट खुला, नैरोबी की फ़्लाइट, दुनिया भर के नेटवर्क को उन्होंने बिछा दिया। जितने लीज जहाज़ पे गए थे सबको वापस बुलाया और पीआईए का फिर ग्राफ जो है ऐसा शूटअप किया कि फिर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह पीआईए की सर्विस करने में हमें जो फ़ख्र महसूस होता था, जिस महफिल में जहाँ भी जाते थे लोग, अच्छा पीआईए में नौकरी, पीआईए।
जब शुरू हुआ था तो क्या एयरलाइन थी। आपको पता है कि पीआईए के पास वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड था, फास्टेस्ट फ्लाइट फ्रॉम कराची टू न्यूयॉर्क, द स्मूदेस्ट एंड द बेस्ट। जैसे ही हम बैठे जहाज़ में, हमें फ़ौरन स्वीट्स मिली। बताया गया कि देखिए ज़रूर मुंह में डाल लें, क्योंकि जहाज़ जब ऊपर चलेगा ना तो कान बंद हो जाएंगे, तो फिर वो थोड़ी देर में खुल भी जाएंगे। और वाकई वही हुआ, वो ऑफ़र हुआ। फिर उसके बाद वो ड्राइंग के कलर पेंसिल्स और ड्राइंग बुक्स ला करके हमें दी, तो हमने कहा कि अब ये वापस देंगे। उन्होंने कहा नहीं ये आपकी है, आप रखें। ओह क्या डिलाइट्स। हर बच्चे को कुछ ना कुछ गिफ्ट मिल रही है और इतना बताया जा रहा है, अब हम यहाँ से जा रहे हैं, अब ये हो रहा है, हम इतने हाइट पर हैं, और एक अटेंशन देना। और आपको पता है पीआईए के पायलट्स तो हमेशा सेवन, आज तक भी वही हाल है कि प्लेन लैंड कर जाता है, आपको पता नहीं होता प्लेन लैंड करके। पीआईए तो हमारी आंखों का तारा था।